You have been lied to, not just misled, systematically, deliberately lied to. They told you work hard, save a little, retire at 65, and that this was freedom. But I ask you, if 40 years of labor ends in a pension too small to live on, a body too tired to enjoy it, and a soul that's forgotten what it means to be alive, what do you call that? You were not born to serve until death. You were not born to watch life pass while you trade your soul for a salary. The world does not reward the obedient. It rewards the man who sees the trap and walks out of it. And that man begins here. Listen closely, because if you miss this, you may work to the grave and still die poor. You believe you are free. You believe hard work will pay off. You believe that one day, maybe after 40 years of labor, if you've been loyal, if you've saved, if you followed the system, you will get your reward. But I say this to you without apology. If 40 years of labor ends in dependency, then who truly owned your life? I have seen it too many times. Men who gave their entire youth to a job only to reach 65 with a tired body, a trembling hand, and a fearful glance at the calendar because their money is running out. They obeyed every rule. They stayed quiet. They did what they were told. They worked. They waited. They waited. And when the waiting ended, there was nothing waiting for them. I ask you again, who owns the life of a man who gives it away one paycheck at a time, only to die uncertain, unfree, and unremembered? You must understand this. Slavery has changed its costume, but it has never left. The chains are no longer metal. They are made of routine, of debt, of low expectation, of unexamined beliefs. You were told the system works if you follow it. But what you were not told is that the system was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you useful to someone else's wealth. I will not soften my words. I am not here to encourage you. I am here to awaken you, because until you see the truth of your condition, you will never walk free. You will smile politely while you waste your years and call it responsibility tying on. You will praise the men who enslave you and call it employment. You will wait for a retirement that barely covers your rent and call it security. This is not a tragedy. This is a choice, and that means it can be unchosen if you are bold enough to face it. Now I will give you the laws. The wealthy learned while others were asleep. You will learn why work alone will never make you free. Why retirement is the reward of the obedient, not the free. How schools shape employees, not owners. Why your job is not a plan, it is a placeholder. It is a placeholder. How the rich obey invisible spiritual laws poor men ignore. How your daily habits form the prison you call life. Why waiting is the enemy and movement is the cure. And how the man who refuses to serve eventually becomes the one who commands. Affirm this aloud now. I refuse to work my life away and die poor. I was born to own, not to obey. Work alone will never make you free. You can sell your strength to another man's dream for 40 years and still die without a name. Labor is the effort of the body. Wealth is the command of thought. Money obeys thought, not time. One man digs a hole. The other sells the shovel. Who gets rich? The poor man points to effort. I worked hard. But the reward never goes to the one who merely shows up. It goes to the one who builds leverage. Andrew Carnegie worked once and profited. He didn't swing hammers. He designed an empire. His ideas are more than any day of labor ever could. That is the secret the worker never learns. The mind is the only true factory of fortune, a firm with power. I do not sell my life for crumbs. My work builds ownership, not dependence. Retirement is the lie they gave slaves so they wouldn't revolt. You are not saving for freedom. You are saving to delay collapse. The man who waits until 65 to begin living was never alive to begin with. They call it a pension. I call it permission to survive. True wealth is not saved. It is built through value. Henry Ford didn't save his way into millions. He created systems that multiplied while he slept. The builder lives now. The waiter dies hoping. Delayed vision is death. Affirm now. I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. I reject the retirement trap. My wealth begins today. Schools create obedient workers, not rich men. You were trained, not educated. Conditioned, not liberated. They taught you. Sit down, be quiet, memorize, repeat, obey. How many of those lessons do you see in the lives of Carnegie, Edison, Ford? None. No man became free by obeying everyone else's commands. Schools do not teach wealth. They teach order, comfort, dependency. If you want to rise, you must unlearn the thinking that made you poor. Ask, why was I taught to fear mistakes more than mediocrity? Why did no one speak of definite purpose? The moment you start questioning, you start building your exit. Affirm with certainty. I think for myself. I question the path I was given. I was not born to follow instructions. I was born to give them. A job is a temporary solution, not a permanent strategy. A job is not freedom. It is a placeholder for the man who has not yet taken command. Use your job the way free men use tools, not as a master, but as a means. As funding for your freedom, not the replacement of it. Edwin C. Barnes worked as a clerk, but with one vision burned into his soul to become biz partners with Thomas Edison. He worked with purpose, not for a paycheck. A job is only noble when it funds your freedom. If you are still working to stay alive, you are not yet free. Say with conviction, my job is not my identity. It is my tool. I use my job to build freedom. The laws that create wealth are spiritual before they are material. You cannot rise until you rise in mind. Money comes from alignment. Align your thought with belief, your belief with words, your words with action, your action with plan. Rockefeller tied this principle. Carnegie used the mastermind principle. Edison walked with certainty long before the world believed. Faith is not religion. It is seeing the invisible as though it were visible. Autosuggestion is mental programming. What you say to yourself with emotion becomes instruction. Wake and speak defeat. You issue orders for poverty. Wake and declare belief. You issue orders for victory. Wealth is a general. In response to organized offense, write your aim, write your steps, review daily. These are not opinions, they are eternal laws. Break them, life breaks you. Obey them, the world yields. If you would understand slavery, stop looking at chains and start looking at habits. The modern slave is bound by a cycle. You rise, eat, labor, rest, and call it life. But is it your life or one designed for you? The chains are in your habits. What time do you wake? What thought enters your mind before the world speaks? You cannot live like a common man and expect uncommon results. The wealth building rhythm. Morning command. Rise before the world. Speak your aim aloud. Read your plan. Repeat affirmations with emotion. Midday alignment. Review progress. Declare, I am still on target. My aim is fixed. Correct drift immediately. Evening review. Measure what was completed. Journal lessons. Repeat your aim before sleep. Visualize success. Repeat daily without fail. Your subconscious is the builder of all results. Most men fail not from lack of intelligence, but from lack of rhythm. Affirm, my habits build freedom or chains. Each day I command myself into power. He who waits serves the man who does not. The world has never rewarded hesitation. Wealth comes to the man who moves. Abraham Lincoln moved when others paused. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation not when it was safe, but when it was necessary. He did not wait for clarity. He created it through decision. Most men fail because they made no move. Waiting is not neutral, it is movement backward. Every day you delay, another man acts, builds, claims the ground you forfeited. Your delays will become your chains. Patience is only a virtue when paired with action. Patience without movement is paralysis. Carnegie acted in poverty. Courage is not something you feel. It is something you decide. If you wait, you will work for the man who didn't. If you hesitate, your children will serve his children. If you pause, your dream will be built by the man who didn't, and your name will not be on it. Say with fire, I act while others wait. My speed creates my freedom. The man who refuses to serve becomes the one who commands. This world obeys the man who commands. And no man can command until he first refuses to serve. Not others, but servitude to fear, routine wage, mental chains. The man who wakes to serve another's vision, who never writes his own aim, who waits for orders, that man is not free. He is what the system designed, a worker until death. The turning point is self-command. A man who masters himself no longer obeys the world. The world obeys him. You can die as a laborer or rise as a leader. The difference is not money. It is thought, discipline, decision. You were not born to work. You were born to build. Not to be instructed, but to direct. Not to comply, but to create. What must you do? First, write your definite chief aim. Now, not tomorrow. Second, build daily command. Repeat your aim every morning and night. Third, build income streams. A man who depends on one stream is still serving. Build ownership. I walked this path. I had no inheritance, no connections. No connection. But I had a decision. I would no longer serve the fear of poverty. I studied the minds of the rich Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, Edison. I found they all obeyed the same laws. They mastered themselves. They decided. They acted. They repeated, and they became impossible to ignore. So can you? But it begins with your refusal. Refuse to live powerless. Refuse to wake with no aim. Refuse to sell your time for crumbs. Refuse to die without building something the world cannot erase. You are not here to serve fear. You are not here to obey mediocrity. You are here to command. Let this be your oath. I will not be a slave to any man. I was born to command wealth, not to work until death. Now walk, speak, build, live. Not as the man the world tried to make you, but as the man you were always meant to become. This is your freedom. This is your freedom. This is your law.